what are we thankful for most in this year? I'm thankful for growth in a lot of different aspects of my life. I set a word of the year every year. My word for 2024 was plant. I want to plant things that grow in my individual life, my personal life, my professional life, right? And I feel like I am so proud of the growth that I've been able to make in each of those aspects. I'm a better man, a better husband, better father, better reporter, better friend than I was last year.
I'm thankful for adversity through my career, through my family, through my relationship. I think it's taught me to set boundaries that are needed for a stable lifestyle, especially with friendships and how you deal with other people. I think adversity was something that I needed this year.
I'm thankful for opportunity. I think this year has been a abundant opportunity year where just things have lined up that I'm extremely grateful for. When you take that leap of faith to like do your own thing, it's a little scary and you don't see the opportunities in the horizon. But then when the opportunities start to stack up, you're like, okay, it's the sign that what I'm doing is the right path.
I'm just thankful for God allowing me to learn, allowing me to understand what I don't understand, allowing me to look at things differently through different, eyeglasses and stuff like that. Because when we get in front of God, we get on our knees, we ask for forgiveness, we ask for understanding. Us as people, I think we need to do the same thing, just across the world.
That's what makes it America's game. That's why it's the most watched sport in the world.
I'm a numbers guy. The numbers don't lie.
You think I'm weak, we can come in that hole, we can figure this out.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Breakin House Rules. We got Cam, we got Vaughn, we got Dre, and we're coming off another Fins dub.
Yes.
Feeling good? Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good.
And a big game for Thanksgiving coming up.
Sure.
So we'll talk about the Fins and Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving, we got some takes to get off this week. Lil Wayne and Kendrick breaking the internet. Right. But I'm excited because we got a special guest this week. Steelers linebacker Elandon Roberts. And we have a bunch to talk about. One of my favorite dudes that I've got to know in this league, former teammate of Vaughn's, former Dolphin, now killing it with the Steelers. So in a few minutes, we're going to introduce him. But first, let's talk a little bit about the Fins. 3-game winning streak. Got a little bit of hope back to keep the faith mantra you've been talking about. Biggest takeaway about the 3-game winning streak heading into Lambeau on Thursday for each of you?
I really think it's just a testament of us continuing to do what works for us and not really focusing on anything outside. And, there's a bunch of narratives that people love to highlight, especially, Dolphins fans, Dolphins atmosphere. You get to a point where everybody's asking is, it's two of the guys, it's the system, can the defense turn it around? Can the offense turn it around? Can we capitalize in the second half? Can we start fast? It's just a bunch of noise, in my opinion. And I think that it's important to just focus on what it takes to win games, and that's to do your job. Do your 111th, and if everybody does their 111th, we're going to get the job done. So, I think this 3 games that we've had is definitely a testament to us just continuing to build on the success we've had and to correct the things that we need to correct. So
yeah, the fan thing is interesting, right? Because what was it 3 weeks ago was fire everybody, trade everybody, and my God, it was loud, and I'm like, yo. Relax. We're good. We're good. We're gonna figure it out. We got a nice stretch coming up. We were playing good football, even the 2 games that we lost against Arizona and what was the other one?
The
Bills, right? Played really good football in those games. So you felt good going into the stretch, but still a lot of things need to be done, right? Like it's a small margin for error. So every week feels like a playoff game, and you kind of go into every week like, what Fins team are we gonna get this week? So I feel good right now. It was a stress-free game on Sunday, which is always good. It's not like even though it got a little dicey there for a second, I'm like, this is the most typical Fins thing ever.
So you were comfortable watching the game this week?
I was chilling. I was sitting outside. Weather was good. I'm like, this is good. This is nice. So I'm excited going into Thanksgiving. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be a big game.
Yeah. It's going to be cold as hell. I'm going to talk about that later. I know, Vaughn, it doesn't bother you. It bothers me. I'm the soft man, Deshaun was talking about me. Not you guys. Because the cold is cold. But my big takeaway from this particular game, really two things. One, hopium's a dangerous drug. I always use the phrase hopium, right? As a fan, 2-6, I think at that stage there wasn't much hopium. Now you win 3 straight, and it's not a dark picture anymore. You can see the lights of the playoffs, and now everybody's all in. The expectations are all in, and a big stage Thursday. You mentioned the narratives, and I know there's going to be a lot about the narratives, but narratives are often based on fact, right? Team hasn't performed well in cold weather. Team hasn't performed well against good teams, right? Consistently. So those are things that you got an opportunity on the field to be able to shut people up. You know, whether you ignore them regardless, you do it with your play. So I'm eager to see it. I will say watching that game back yesterday, it just showed me the value of Tua to this offense. Worst offense in the league without him when he was hurt. They look like a top 5 unit yesterday throughout this 3-game period. I don't think people understand how valuable he is to that scheme, to that coach, what they're doing. Like, it's the perfect marriage. You know, you can make all your arguments about, you know, it's a system fit of this and that. For whatever reason, when Mike McDaniel and Tua get together, it works. The rest of it may not work as smoothly, but for that function, it works. And as long as he's healthy, this Dolphins team has a chance. So I'm eager to see him on Thursday in Lambeau. But I'm also eager to introduce Elandon Roberts, 9-year pro, played for the Dolphins from 2020 to 2022. Started his career for the Patriots, now with the Steelers. And I think for people who haven't seen Elandon play, the quote to describe him is one he said 5 years ago when he was with the Patriots. He said, "I'll run through a motherfucker face. Offense, defense, special teams, I'll run through a motherfucking face." So, Elandon, I'm so glad to have you joining us here on Breakin House Rules.
What's up, fellas?
What's
How you
good,
doing, bro? How you doing, bro?
What's good? What's good?
Dark grind in the building.
Yeah. What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
AD? What's up?
So E-Rob, I want to start you with this because I think your game is so unique for this current era. They talk about all these new school linebackers where everything is speed, but like you set the tone. You're a physical player. Every time you're on part of a defense, the energy is different. How do you feel as maybe the quote unquote old school linebacker having success in this new game?
Personally, it's kind of a compliment, you know, because I don't think the game has changed from a standpoint of the physicality side of it. But where I think it's changed at is, you know, you got nuanced offensive coordinators. They're just kind of, sometimes they spread it out. You know, you see a lot of new offensive coordinators. They're trying to go in 11 personnel, but they're making receivers block. You know, and I'm just like, if you put a receiver on me, it's gonna be problems, you know, if you want to live like that and whatnot. I think when they talk about it from the speed thing of it, man, I mean, I ran pretty fast coming out of college, and I
University of
think,
Houston, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that people, you know, they just see a downhill backer and they just put you in a box of he's not fast, you know, and man, I mean, been doing it at a elite level year in and year out, and it's never a part of somebody saying, "Oh man, like look at Elandon Roberts in open space," or "Look at him chase this guy down, man. He just don't have his speed." It's never been that, you know. And I just think about uh, if you go from a standpoint of, once you get older in your career, they try to tell you what you can't do, and each year you put it on film that I haven't lost this, I'm still doing this, I'm still dominant in what I do, and stuff like that. And I just think it comes with age, where they start saying, "Oh, can he still do this?" Or we have this guy that can do that. So I just feel like it's a compliment because, man, being 9 years in, man, I could be that guy that's out the league now, and not nobody's been able to say anything about me.
Yeah. So I remember that transition in year 7 for you. It was my second year. I think middle of the season they had started taking you off of third down quite a bit. And I remember us having that conversation about you getting your drops and on third down and really focusing on not necessarily changing your game, but more so adapting it in the eyes of the coaches in the scheme, because really you were still an individual that got your depth, but also fit the run, could play on third down, but it wasn't being highlighted because your main game was first and second down. So I think it was like the week going into the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears where, there was a time in practice where, you were getting like 20, 30 yards depth in the hook area. And I wanted to ask you, what was that feeling when you had to emphasize, not first and second down, but third down, and how that maybe changed your perspective, or maybe it was difficult to step out of that first and second down mentality going into third down? What was that like for you?
Well, my mentality was always every down. I just feel like when you're good at something, you're put in a box that's saying, oh, he can only play first and second down, but on third or third down short yardage, and you don't necessarily know what a man can do before you put him in a situation. And
Yep.
it was like things of, obviously you talk about that year when I was at Miami, we're coming off the field and then the guys are running the ball, getting the first down. So it's just like, yeah, he's a run stopper, but technically, are they throwing at him on third down? Are they going at him? Is he the reason why, we're not capitalizing on these third downs? We're putting a passing guy, whether that's a DB, linebacker, whoever was putting in the game, and
Right.
they're still getting the first down. So you kind of like, is that the issue or is it another issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember we put you in the game against the Raiders. Took some crib.
yeah,
Took that. Yeah.
take it
Talk
to
to me
the
about
crib,
that.
because at the end of the day, it's not always about um, having a cover, say so backer or whoever's coming in for that backer. It's about schematics. Like if you're coming in the game and you don't know in a in a situation when they're bringing all their receivers inside the numbers, that hey man, they fit to run a mesh concept. They're fit to try to pick and rub you. If they're spreading you out, it's a lot of rhythm passing. If the tight end and running back is in chip position, that's when they're going max up and they're throwing the ball down the field. So you can be in your hook all you want, but if you don't even know what's coming at you, how can you defend it? And I think at times, um, sometimes we can out scheme ourselves, by trying to have this matchup and that matchup. And sometimes you just got to have a guy there to know what he's doing, know what's supposed to be thrown at him, knowing the situation we in. And I never felt like playing third down. I didn't know the situation. I didn't know what teams wanted to do because, I mean, you seen it, Javon. I ran the defensive meetings, the
Right.
first beginning of the week. I was coming off the field and telling guys, hey, on third down, they like to do this, they like to do that, and stuff like that. So it's like, you kind of taking your coach off the field, that player coach off the field. And me, I never, obviously you get annoyed at it, but at the end of the day, as a leader, my job is to whoever's coming in, have them prepared in the best way to make sure that we're capitalizing off them situations the best.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. And that leadership, I felt that at a young age in the league. That presence that you had. Real quick, I wanted to go through your past as a young player. You started freshman year in college at Morgan State.
Hmm.
You finished your freshman year with 107 tackles, led your team as second team first. Oh, let me see. You were second team Mid East Atlantic Conference. You have the second best single season effort for 107 tackles in the program. You also had 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, an interception, and 2 pass breakups. You were named All MEAC second team in 2012. And then after that, you transferred to Houston. So talk to me about the transition from being at Morgan State to then going to a bigger program in Houston.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. Like I say, coming from Texas, you always dream about that right off, D1. But I was a late bloomer coming out, man. I caught a growth spurt late in my high school career, and that just stemmed from, hey, man, I don't. We none of us know, what God has planned for us, and none of us know that timing, but. We always should prepare in the way of when it do happen, you take full advantage of it. And that's what happened, man. I caught a major growth spurt my senior year. A lot of colleges wanted me to come to Gray Shirt, but me and my dad didn't feel that was the right thing to do, because obviously you see the college game, man. Coaches leaving and coming each year, man. You just really never know. So what we did was Morgan State had offered us, and we was just like, hey man, we're gonna go play football for a year and we're gonna transfer. And that was my whole mindset. And went up there. Big shout out to Morgan State, because without them, I don't know if I'll be sitting here talking to you guys today, because they didn't have to, after that year, allow me to transfer. They could have just said, no, we're not going to sign the papers to let you. But they did, and they allowed me to go better my career. And that's when I signed to the University of Houston on a full scholarship.
Nice.
Cougars. Go Cougs.
Man, yeah, you already know.
Me and
baby.
Elandon went to school together. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Really?
We went to
Yeah,
college
for
together,
real?
bro.
In
Yeah.
Houston.
No way.
Houston at the same time, graduated
And did you
the
guys
same
know each
year.
other at the time or no?
We knew each other from a distance. I think
Mhm.
we've grown closer now that we're both in the same profession.
Oh,
We
damn.
knew
Absolutely.
each other. Our wives knew each other probably closer in college. But since we've both been in the pros in a sense, we've developed our relationship.
Yeah.
When he was out here in Miami, we see each other regularly, and even when we get out there on the road, it's always great to see somebody, a familiar face that know your journey, so yeah.
That's badass. I
Exactly.
didn't know that. That's sick. All right. Well, Elandon, great meeting you. We do a mental health check-in every episode, so we wanted to include you on this. I know you're coming off a bye week. Everyone's got our different walks of life, like we always like to say. So we'll kick it off with you. Want to see how you're doing outside of ball. Just how's the mental health going?
I'm doing real good, man. I got a wife, 3 kids, man, and it's great, man. I can't be more blessed for how life off the field is going for me. I got a great wife. We raise our kids, man. We continue to have great fun with each other. My kids is getting older. This year was the first year my son played a little flag football up here in Pittsburgh. My older daughter, man, she's so athletic. She's in everything. She's in dance, gymnastics, and you name it, she's in it. I have a little 1-year-old. Seeing her just get bigger and stuff like that is amazing. But man, everything has been going great for me. From a mental health standpoint, I got a great family around me. I got great friends that, if something was bothering me, I can call and kind of lean on and stuff like that, from a standpoint of just clearing your mind, and whatnot. And in the off season, obviously I stay busy, but, I make sure that I'm decompressing from football and not just being too much all in on it, because I feel like sometimes that can um, it can just you overdoing it. Sometimes you have to
Right.
just get away. So that it never is a point to where you all football to where you start like mentally checking out. And stuff like that. So it's been real good, man. Like I said, it's been a blessing. From a standpoint of being a 9-year vet, and the mental side of it is it's going as well as it was when I was a young pup.
Nice. And one of the things we've always talked about is like the decompress, right? Like how do you decompress outside of whatever your day job is, right? Whether you're a listener or you're an athlete like yourself, Vaughn, Cam's always on the road traveling. I got my things. But what's your version of decompress? You mentioned family, but I know Vaughn likes to play golf. I like to play golf as well. Cam's a big golf guy too, big family guy as well. But what's your version of decompression?
It's really a lot. It changed throughout the years. I go home. I got a business back home called Landlord Daiquiri Den. I go check on that, make sure everything is rolling in the right direction. I'm with in Miami. They have Ghost Bar restaurant. I'm partnered with the one in Houston also, so I go and check on the one in Houston. Um, and other than that, man, just get around the fellas, laugh, joke around. On my off days, like back home in the off season, I like to from time to time go and have me a good cigar, chill. I sit vibe
Oh
with the
yeah.
guys. But I'm pretty laid back, man. I'm come from a big sports family, so it's never really not talking about sports and stuff like that, and very family oriented and whatnot. But yeah, man, I don't really have the type of hobbies of off season. You see a lot of guys not as big into fashion. You see A lot of guys in they off season they may take up art or different type of things. That's just not me. So maybe when I
That's fair.
retire, I get into like a little golf because a lot of my guys that I came into the league with or guys that I was in the league with that was veterans, they're big in golf and stuff like that now. So maybe I'll pick that up, but right now, man, I just be on some cool, chill stuff,
Love it.
and whatnot. I think pack that Caleb created and his team created down in Miami. That was really started. Miami Dolphins just do it and they branched off, so they do it for league wide now. I think that's a great thing that they got going. I haven't talked to them guys in a while now, just from me just my family growing, I just be stuck, not stuck, but like my attention be so big on my family just because in
Yep.
these months of the year, dealing with football today, they're kind of not put on the back burner, I say, but, a lot of our time go into football.
Yeah, I think that's real. Funny enough, you mentioned Pack. I just had dinner with Chip, who also runs
Exactly.
Pack as
Yep,
well.
Chip.
So it's cool just to see what resources are for you guys as players,
Right.
and like you said, finding the outlets that are outside of ball, right? And I think, Landon, you said a great point, because like as I think of where you are, like your mentality, your principles are why you've been a two-time Super Bowl champion, why you've been a multi-year captain, like for me, as I go about my job, I struggle sometimes with the balance,
Mhm.
right? Like people always talk about work-life balance, and I always joke, what balance, right? There's always something that's gonna have more. And so like I know this week, coming back from travel, I'm traveling again this week. I feel like I'm giving a lot heavier to work, right? And I struggle with that because we do that to provide, right? Like us as men, we know that's how our family eat.
Right.
But at the same time, you think about your family. I know my daughter hadn't seen me in a little bit. She wanted to hang out for a little bit, but then I had to go do something else. I had to go do work. So
Yep.
that's in the back of my mind of like how much time you give to each thing. And so that's one thing I'm definitely thinking about this week as we go into like Thanksgiving. Like, why do we do what we do? And are we allocating the appropriate time? And so I told you guys last week as we had the mental health journey, I started therapy last week. Like, I'm trying to connect to like my emotions, my soul, and figure out how I can balance the decompress for myself, but also giving the love, the time, allocations that I can while still being great in what I do.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think you being present and knowing that you need to give time to your family while also understanding that you've given a lot of time to work is kind of the beginning steps to understanding that you have to balance the two.
Yep.
Because a lot of the time you get lost in work, daily routine, and you don't really pay attention to, hey, am I like spending enough time with my kids or with my with my woman, things like that. So I think being present enough to understand that I am giving too much time to work and I need to make sure I give time to my people is important. And I think that's where I was at, last year. I was really just kind of lost in the process of ball because it was difficult. The scheme was hard. It was a new scheme and I'm trying to make sure everybody's on point, but at the same time, I have to come home and I have to flip the switch and still be, a boyfriend, a brother, a friend. So it's important to be present and make the choice to extend yourself in an equal manner so that you're not exhausted on one side and, overusing yourself on the other.
That's real.
And I think the other thing, like Elandon said it, right? To be able to do these things, right? Devote this much time to your craft, you need to have the support system that supports you to be able to do it. Because imagine devoting all this time, you're on the road all the time, you're doing this, you're doing that, and they don't support you in that journey, right? Because you need to have that, because then it's only going to add to that mental confusion going on, right? It's like, damn, I'm doing all this and I'm doing it for you, but it's not being reciprocated and appreciated in a way. So there's a balance on the other side too, right? Because you know that this is to provide, but it's also their way of supporting you and what you're passionate about and what you do, which is key.
Yeah. And I'll say this. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead, Rob.
I think with everything too comes communication. Because when I was growing up, my dad was in the military, and also you hear my kids in the background. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, when I was growing up, my dad was in the military and he worked, a 9 to 5, and my mother worked graveyards,
Mm.
and with all that, you understand that it's sacrifice that come with everything. You know, I grew up in a 2-parent home, you know, where, you know, if mama had to go to work, she had to go to work, but I knew I was loved, you know, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I think with everything, I think the platform and the situations that we live in is that, you know, we make a significant amount of money to where things might get a little, why can't you do this, why can't you do that? And you know, I think, you know, with communication of it, like, hey, I'm doing this because of I want my kids to go to this certain school. I'm doing this because I want my wife to be able to do this and do that, you know, when she want to. Hey, I do this also because, you know, I want to set the foundation of, hey, if I do want to do something that I can, you know, and I think everything starts with communication. I think no one role, especially in the household, is bigger than the next person, no matter if you the breadwinner or you know what I'm saying, you at home holding the fort down, because we all have our jobs, we all have our role. We just gotta make sure at times when we can that we do show appreciation for that and show the balance of, hey, it might be 90-10. I gotta give 90% right now to fully to
Yep.
my job. But that 10% and that 10%, you're gonna feel appreciated. You're gonna feel heard. You know, the kids is gonna get all that time, you know, to where when it do level back off to 50-50, that, you know, it's not a big okay, you know, I'm doing this now, I'm doing that now. It's more so like, okay, now I got my break. You know what I'm saying? We can do this and we can do that, you know. But I just feel like a lot of stuff starts off with communication.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for you, E-Rob. Like, not just in this conversation, but through life. Like, you got a beautiful family and you're very
Appreciate you.
intentional. That's the word that I like to use, like, as you're expressing that. Intentionality is key because you brought up the 90-10 as a balance. 90-10 may look different for each person.
Exactly.
If you're not intentional with your 10, then it doesn't matter if that's 10, 50, or 90 the other way, right? And so I think intentionality is something that we all can be better at, of like, okay, you have the time you have. How do you maximize that? How do you make sure they feel your significant other special in that point? So I love that. I love that. Y'all got some nice fits on today.
You ain't got a lot.
Shit, you think so? I thought
You ain't
that I
gotta
was
lie.
slacking a little bit.
I'm real casual today. Look, man, we like to do a little fit check. Today, I just kept it casual, to be honest, man. T-shirt, shorts, my off day.
Hug your bros.
Hey,
Hug your bros. So,
hey man, it's cold
shout
out
out
here, you
athletes
know,
first.
big hoodie. It's cold.
Big
Big
hoodie.
hoodie.
It's cold out there. I'm already knowing. Big hoodie. Very, you know what I'm saying, very casual. Hug your bros.
Yeah.
You
I'm
just
with
gotta
you.
make sure your homies is straight. You know, I had some homies go through some tough times in their life, but the important part is that, you know, you check on them, make sure they give him the window to just ask, hey bro, you straight? If he says he's good, he's good. If he wants to dive into it and let you into what is going on, you know, it is what it is. But as long as you know, letting the people in your life know that you're straight, then you're straight.
Facts.
What you got on?
At 47, right? At 47, right? That's the brand, I think. Yeah, 47 brand. Dolphins hoodie, little hockey jacket version. One of one. I don't know if I've seen anyone else with it, so
Okay.
I'm pretty proud about this one.
Yeah, that's dope.
Exclusive.
Then I got the Vic Garcia shorts. We got the Air Force Ones in blue. They're a little dirty, and we got what's this? I don't even know who this is. Dead Bogey Society. Got that.
Yeah, I love it. I'm also a big hoodie like Elandon. I got this black Lord Wolf hoodie on. I got the H. I knew my boy Elandon was coming on, so I got the H here.
Got to.
Got a little Houston backdrop
Hey,
on the
let 'em
back.
know,
You
Cam,
know,
let 'em know.
a little something, you know, a little something.
All right.
So,
Ain't you from Mississippi?
yeah,
though?
huh?
Ain't you from Mississippi?
I'm from Mississippi.
Okay, I was just.
I'm not claiming Houston as my hometown.
No, that's straight. I'm just like.
But I went to college there.
No, okay, for sure.
Bree, my wife, she's from
No, that's
Houston.
cool. You just putting on for Houston right now.
Yeah, I'm putting on for Houston.
Okay.
I'm putting on for Houston.
Respect.
I'm putting on for Houston. H-Town. My boy Landon's from Port Arthur, which is right outside of Houston. He went to Houston. So I love this hoodie, and I feel like this was the right time to wear it, you know? So I got that. I got some Express gray pants on. Got on the 11 graduations Jordans.
Oh, he always keep
little
fresh
swatch.
kicks. He always got the fresh kicks on.
You know he always got to throw the kicks in
Hey,
there.
got to,
You know,
man.
with the suit, he always
it's a
got the
it's a
3,
sock game,
the
Morgan.
4.
It's a sock game.
Last week, Jevon pulled his shoe off. You
Yeah,
know,
had to.
That might be tough to put back on though.
I know,
Throw the
right?
watch in there too. Throw the watch in there too. What you got on the wrist?
Oh, a little swatch. This is a little swatch Babe and Ape collab.
Yeah.
On the watch there.
Talk
So,
some.
All right.
little something.
All right.
You know.
You know the weather's been nice out here, man.
has.
I've been wearing some pants today. I mean, I haven't worn pants in Miami in about 6, 7. Damn.
You know what I also haven't done in a while? Oh, I got you this time.
Yeah,
You
no,
did.
I knew it was coming.
I still haven't got
I
it.
knew it was
Yeah. Howling with the Wolf, Landon, we do a quick segment every week. Just a couple things that I'm howling on that we want to react to.
Okay.
Number one, we're talking about weather. I've told you guys this before, but my big take, especially this time of year, is I hate the idea that these cold weather games, like the one y'all played in Cleveland on Thursday, Elandon, is football weather. Football weather to me, 70 degrees, inside a dome, the optimum position for players to use their skills at maximum potential. Being cold, it being a sloppy game does not make it football weather. I know a lot of people disagree with me. They love to see the snow from the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game and say, oh, this is beautiful. This is football weather. Is it football weather for the people who are playing in it? Is it football weather for me standing on the sidelines and pregame? Nah, I want to see it peak temperature, 70 degrees, preferably 72 in AC. You know, so I just don't get it. I don't think it's the best product we get there. And I get why people like the visuals and home in their 72 degree home with heat, but I just think that we over exaggerate the idea of football weather.
I think football has a big emphasis on being gritty, grinding, the gridiron, just going at it, you know what I'm saying? Tooth and nail. So for me personally, when it's like 60 degrees, dumping rain, the field is muddy, guys take their gloves off, tape their fingers up, and it's just a hard-fought run the ball game.
Football weather to you?
That's football weather to me. Because, you know, guys are just in there. It's just grind out. The ball may come out. You know, they can't really throw it. It's hard to see. No visors on. That's just like gridiron, hard-fought. That's the type of football you see on the NFL Throwback channel, and they're showing guys in leather helmets going at it. Plumbers on their day off, you know, just running through each other. So I think that for me is like just gritty football weather. Yeah.
No other sport has to play in that though.
But that's what makes football.
That's what makes it America's game. That's why it's the most watched sport in the world.
So you don't think it'd be football if everybody played in a dome?
I mean, I think it'd be straight if everybody played in the dome. But think about watching a game where it's like just pouring rain and guys are just out there grinding, sweating, running, sliding in the water. You know what I mean? Like muddy.
Home field
I
advantage.
know I am the minority on this vote.
I mean, you got to, because you're on the sideline. Like, you got to
feel
report on the
strongly-
sideline.
How do you feel about the idea of football weather? How did you feel Thursday in that snow globe game in Cleveland?
Personally, man, you know, a lot of people say, you know, this football, this is what football is on. But, you know, the best football players is out of Texas, Florida, and Cali. It's warm. So, you know, I don't know how football got put in the category of the best games is in the snow. The best games is, you know, like, yeah, muddy and rain. Yeah, that's cool, but it don't have to be cold, muddy rain. You know what I'm saying? And,
I
you know,
agree,
I
I
didn't
agree.
play, obviously, man, I didn't play in New England. It was definitely cold there. And, you know, obviously Miami was warmer, but, and I mean, back in cold now in Pittsburgh, I don't have a problem with it. But when we start saying what's real football weather, real football is in Texas, Florida, and Cali. So it's just like the weather's always warm if you go off that, you know, and obviously, you know, we adapt to it all. But I just don't understand how someone can say, you know, real football is in the cold because it's not. I mean, just think about the Super Bowls. Every Super Bowl is played in a dome, or if it's in a hot state like Miami, it's hot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So I'll leave it at that. Everybody got their own opinion and whatnot, but you know, I don't think nobody can look at this segment and be like, oh, he's just saying that because he weak. Hey, if you think I'm weak, we can come in that hole. We can figure this out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right. He
So
plays in any weather, but I'll tell you right, it's your opinion. It is the right opinion. It is the right opinion.
you know, and if they don't think that the
Jameis
best
had some
football,
comments
if they
too.
don't think the best football players is out of Texas, Florida, or Cali, they crazy too. They need to run into somebody's wall or something because they out their mind.
Elliot,
Facts.
so let's do this here real quick, because last time we had a guest here, we had a debate about the best high school football: Texas, Cali, Florida. Right? Dre's from Florida,
Yeah.
Von's from Cali,
Right.
you're from Texas.
Mhm.
Y'all
Ooh.
make the argument.
I'm gonna always stand by the West Coast. I'm gonna always stand on that. It's the West Coast is the best coast, best football, best college, high school football. Used to be college football on the West Coast, but they decided the powers that be decided to get rid of the Pac-12, so we had to come to the Big Ten and beat up on, you know, the rest of the Midwest. I mean, the Pacific Northwest and the East and whatnot. But
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
always say California got the best high school football. Always.
Yeah, I respect you sticking with your state, you know, but Cali, yeah. I throw Cali in there, honestly, because of it's a big state. I don't always feel like Cali is the third. Like y'all like third with like Georgia. Like once you get one and two is Texas and Florida. Once you get to the third spot, it's Cali, Georgia. You know, you might call me crazy, but you can even throw in there Pennsylvania and
Yeah, I said that too. I said
New
that too.
Jersey, because you got a lot of players come out of them little small states. But I mean, come on, man. Texas running it. I don't care what Dion say. Dion say all of them come out of Florida. Dion crazy. He's recruiting right now. He lived in Texas after his career and raised his boys down there. So
Yeah.
obviously they built the way they built because they was built in Texas. So yeah, it's Texas one for me, Florida two. And then they be talking
He
about
said y'all
Florida.
dense for no
They be
reason.
talking
You
about
said what?
Florida
He said y'all
speed.
dense for no reason as a state.
Bro, they be
Te-
talking. Hey, look.
according to
Look, they be talking about
Google
Florida
AI,
speed,
Texas has
and
produced the
they
most.
ain't that fast off Texas. Like they tripping,
Yeah.
tripping.
I agree. I think Texas is number one, and as Dre mentioned, the numbers. I'll share with y'all the numbers.
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
The numbers don't lie.
So the amount of
He
players in the league right
He
now.
analytics.
Texas.
Hey,
Yeah.
Vaughn, he taking me out on third down. He's an analytics guy.
he on PFF too much. That's what he on.
He's stuck in the narrative. He's
Yeah,
like,
he
hey,
on
they done said
PFL.
he'll run first play.
You know how coaches be when they stuck on PFF. Man.
Yeah, nah. The numbers say Texas has the most players currently in the league. Number 2 is Florida, and number 3 is Cali. I will say Florida, in particular, some of the Miami and South Florida area high schools, individual high schools have the most players. I think American Heritage was number 1. So Florida may have the highest end of individual schools. Texas is just so you get great football everywhere. You can go to West Texas, you can go to South Texas, you can go to Dallas, you can go to Houston. There's gonna be great football everywhere. So let's transition a little bit from the state battles. And the other thing I was howling on this week is Kendrick came out with a new album, Kendrick Lamar, and it reignited this kind of debate between Kendrick and Lil Wayne. So some context here. Kendrick's doing a Super Bowl halftime performance. A lot of people thought Lil Wayne should do it because he's from Louisiana. A couple times on stage, Lil Wayne said, it was ripped away from me. It says robbed, okay? Kendrick drops a line essentially referencing, my success let Lil Wayne down. Wayne tweets out in response, why everybody picking on me, essentially. Y'all want the chopper to come out, the chopper about to come out,
Right.
Where do y'all stand in this Kendrick Wayne beef?
I don't even think it's a beef for real. I think Wayne first complaining about it, like, oh, why didn't y'all give it to me, was lame, because instead of just like building up Kendrick, because Kendrick was telling him like he idolized him as a young rapper. He followed his flows, followed his rhythms, and then now he's on a point where he has all the success, And then Wayne comes out and is like, oh, why'd y'all strip that from me? Yada, yada, yada. And then it's like, bro, Kendrick got nothing to do with that. He just,
I don't think
they asked him to do it.
I
He
don't think
doing
he
it.
didn't give him his flowers though. Why every time somebody get in a debate, they got to give him his flowers? Like Kendrick Lamar
Fair.
obviously has did some great things in music, but bruh, Lil Wayne's been through genres. Like Lil
No, you're
Wayne,
not wrong.
like he in every like since I've been born, Lil Wayne and dropped one in every year this. And I think Wayne wasn't taking anything from him. He was just looking at it like, bro, this Louisiana. Like
Yeah, true.
this where I'm at, you know, and but at the same thing, at the same time I do get Kendrick's point of it. He's like, bro, I didn't pick it. I had nothing to do
Right.
Yeah,
with it.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and stuff
And he
like
kind of
that.
just sitting
So
there like, hey, he like, damn, I guess my success let Wayne down. But then
but
Wayne taking that as him being
how
like,
did his success let Wayne down when Wayne the pipeline to his success? Wayne created
true.
different music.
I think he was seeing it as because Wayne was upset he didn't get the Super Bowl, and he didn't necessarily say that he was happy for Kendrick. Kendrick's just like, damn, like my fault. Like I thought I was just, thought I was just I'm just trying to be successful.
Yeah,
so he was like, damn, right.
No.
And so he like, damn, I guess my success, let Wayne down. Kind of how J. Cole said, damn, I let Nas down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that he did let Nas down, but that's just his perception.
Right.
So then now Wayne's like tweeting like, oh, what did I do? And he ain't really do nothing wrong.
He didn't do anything.
He just saying like, man, shit.
I think him kind of coming out with comments still didn't help him after the fact. Like everyone's like, yo, like they just made.
Yeah, he kind of took it as a threat. Like, oh, let me, like y'all want to.
He
wait
thought
the
it was an
giant.
attack on him.
He wasn't even really on.
Did they give him a reason why they didn't pick him though?
So here's the thing I'll say. The Super Bowl's never really been who is from that city. They did that for Cali when they did the LA one, but previously it has never been like we're gonna find the best artist from this city, right? They did a Super Bowl in New Orleans a decade or so ago, and Beyonce was there instead of Wayne. Beyonce is not from Louisiana, and so I just felt like it was weird this time to make this has to be Wayne, because the reality is Super Bowl is not a lifetime achievement award. Like Wayne is a top 10 rapper of all time to me, maybe even top 5. But like, just being honest, the current stage of Wayne performing, I'm more interested in seeing Kendrick.
Right. Especially where he's at.
Just off of like the GP of now.
Right.
Wayne's catalog, way
Crazy.
better. Right?
Crazy work.
But what Kendrick is doing now, I think is going to be more connected to the national audience, especially how he's blown up this past year. So
that's fair.
That's just how I viewed it. And I felt like it's been two eras trying to conflict on something where Wayne can get respect and love, but this does not have to be the way to give Wayne that respect and love. That's just my take on it.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I didn't really listen to Kendrick until he dropped that. Like so.
Okay, all right.
That's just my opinion. It's no shot at him. I think he's a dope artist, but to call Kendrick Lamar the GOAT, But I'm not from Cali either, and I don't listen to Cali music like that. So who am I to speak on that?
So let's transition from music back to football a little, Elandon, and I want to bring you back to your time here in Miami. 2020 to 2022.
Yeah.
You were here, a captain, starting linebacker, and a team that was trying to transition first with Brian Flores and then to Mike McDaniel. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to start you off with this. What's your favorite memory that you had as a Dolphin?
I had some real good moments, not just as a player, but just from a team perspective. Coming from New England, I had never really experienced anything like that. And the year before, we was kind of the middle of the pack. We was kind of just, building in the right direction. I remember we had just lost to beat 1-7, and I went upstairs to talk to Flo, and his big thing was just about, hey man, I just want to make sure that this team, the people in that locker room, can we can do whatever it takes to put them guys in the best position each weekend and just take it 1 week at a time. And Flo was like, it was so funny. Flo say, man, E-Rob, when I was a kid, man, I came from nothing. he was just like, so now being in this position when nobody expect anything out of you, he said, man, I'm gonna put this team not just on the leader's back, but obviously my own back, and we're gonna take this thing 1 week at a time. And to just see like everybody as a team just come together and say 1 week at a time. And man, we just start checking it off. I mean, we were just checking it, checking it. And to see that, man, it was crazy, man. And it showed me too that the NFL really, you know, them after like this time of the year is so important because anybody can get hot, you know, and anybody can be in it, you know, for a chance to get in the playoffs. You know, 1-7, man. So many people had then, you know, we was like, oh man, they done.
Yeah.
And for it to come to the last game of the season, I think we beat New England the last game of the season. Then was kind of sitting there just waiting for somebody to lose. Just showed the type of leadership, not just from Brian Flores, but from the players in the locker room. We just start doing it for each other, and it all started with B Flow.
Yeah, I think y'all won 6 or 7 straight games.
And
Yeah.
then we lost
7
we
straight.
lost to Tennessee. We lost to
Yeah.
Tennessee
In that cold rain.
in the
Yeah.
cold
Yeah,
rain.
that was the game that broke it. But yeah, I remember that level of intensity and grit because that team, that was the early portion of building talent. Like Tua was very young, Waddle was very young, and so it was a team. And then you had guys like Elandon that were vets. You were coming in very young, so it was a team in transition that didn't have the talent that maybe spoke to playoffs, but at the same time, at that second half of the year, you saw a level of intentionality of coming together that I think was super cool from my view to watch. Like we talked about fan hope. 1-7 at that stage, it's a disaster.
Right.
Everybody's talking about it's over, this and that, what the heck happened. But for the only people in the building to believe to be you guys and lead it, I think that was still something that was one of the cooler things I've seen, from a team.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that B Flow emphasized during that time was stick together. I remember after every loss that we had leading up to that Baltimore Thursday night win, it was just stick together. Stick together, we're going to turn it around. I don't remember hearing anything about narratives or any outside noise during that period because it didn't matter. You know what I mean? And it didn't even matter to say that it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even want to mention it. It was strictly about us, how we're functioning, how we can turn these games around and get W's. And he held everybody to the same standard, and he was upfront about it, and he spoke to everybody in the same manner, walked around in the same manner, and we just ended up taking those small victories in practice, turning them to small victories in the game, and eventually that got us, over the hump and winning games. And like he said, like anybody can get hot at this late time in the year, and we ended up striking iron while it was hot and really building on those games.
It sparked enough hope in the fans that me and like 5 of my boys drove up to Nashville, saw the Finns play in New Orleans. Saw them play in New Orleans. I think it was a Sunday or Monday night, and then from there drove from New Orleans to Tennessee to go watch that game.
Jeez.
Hopium. Hopium is a dangerous drug. It's
Drunk with success.
Hope. And this current Dolphins team, they're trying to have their own hopium. Trying to create their own run. Different coach, different style of team, but trying to create their own rally. And, like we talked about, this week in Green Bay will be a key moment, for that team. But Landon, now you're with the Steelers, right? And you guys are 8-3 at this stage?
Yeah.
Playing really good ball. I know it was a tough loss to the Browns, but I was there when you guys beat Baltimore. For a person who's played now in the AFC East and the AFC North, how would you describe these differences between the divisions and maybe how they fit for your style of play?
I feel like man, the AFC North, man, it's no shot at no other division, man. But this is an old school, just throwing haymakers type of division, man. And it's thick, it get thick in the AFC North, and You know, I love the type of brand of football that's played in this division and stuff like that because hey, at the end of the day, you know, when you can run the ball and play good defense in the playoffs, that's what it's all about. You know, and I think the AFC North, uh, definitely you can see that week in and week out. The AFC East, you know, when early in my career when I was in that division, man, you know it was a lot of that. Also, I haven't really paid like I don't really pay attention to different divisions when obviously I'm playing because I don't really have the time, man. I'm so focused. I always focus on like the what I'm doing right now, and stuff like that. So because when I was with the Dolphins, Mike McDaniels, man, he really emphasized, how, he liked to run the ball and stuff like that. And New England was still running the ball heavy when Bill Belichick was there and whatnot. And Salah at the Jets, that's when what's his face? What's the running back at the Jets now?
Hall.
Brees
Brees.
Hall.
Brees Hall, he came out on fire, but he ended up getting hurt. So they kind of messed up their running game and stuff like that as a rookie. But they were still running that thing. I remember Frank Gore, at the end of his career was there. So, that AFC East, man, that's been a tough AFC division also and stuff like that. I've just been blessed enough to play in some good divisions when it come down to the AFC.
Yeah,
Sure.
not only good divisions, but also good defenses. Talk to me about playing with guys like T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward up front. What is that like for you as a stand up backer?
It's playing with TJ and Cam and Larry Openchoba and we got Alex Highsmith, you got the young buck Nick Herbert, then you have the guys that spell them out like Keanu being the real young guy. You got Ladder Milk, uh and whatnot, and then we just inquired Preston, guys like that. It feels great to have that type of group just in your front because man, them guys really like take their job serious and they're not me guys. So they're big on, hey, what do we need to do for the team to have success stopping the run, or when it's past situations, what do I need to do to get to that quarterback and create a big play for my defense? That's how them guys thinking. It's not me guys when it come to them, and it's great. It's a great environment to be around. And then you got the secondary. You got Joey Porter Jr. You got Dante Jackson. You got our little rookie that's coming along week to week. You got Beanie Bishop. You got Mika Fitzpatrick in the back end with Deshaun Elliott and whatnot. Real just what I need to do for the team, guys. And stuff like that. And I ain't lying, man. We got some. We defensively, man, we got some guys that are, that love to play that smash mouth game also and stuff like that. So just being in that type of environment, man, it's great, man. And I can sit on here all day and praise them guys. And them guys don't even the one thing that's crazy about it, the guys don't even live for the praises. They
Hmm.
they love praising others, man. They just trying to go out here and do their job. And I just feel like as a veteran group, man, it's a real good thing to have. That's why when rookies come in, man, I think it's good for them not to feel like they have everything on their shoulders. They're able to lean on us, and be put in the right position. And when they make their plays, man, we praise them and love them up because we know the type of ability them guys have.
Landon, as you were talking about that defense, and you guys have been elite on that side of the ball for sure all year, I'm starting to think about your perspective of the biggest challenges you've had. Like, I'm always curious for defenders, who are the hardest guys you had to tackle in your career?
I always got to go to early in my career with Le'Veon Bell. He was
Mm.
really because his vision, his patience in the hole was really like just unique in a way, and
Hmm.
how he seen the game. And I know obviously I pay for Pittsburgh, so everybody like, oh, you just saying that because of Pittsburgh. No, I'm dead serious. I say that. I've been saying that from my New England days. I've been saying it from Miami days. Le'Veon Bell is the most difficult back I went against because the style of run he had. And I like Le'Veon because he never tried to change for anyone. You know, he always stayed, everybody like, oh, he tiptoe, he do this, he do that. I'm like, it's working because it's hard to stop, you know, and I think that you know, Le'Veon was definitely the hardest running back I had to face in my career.
Sure.
Nice.
As we think about your time in New England when you started your career, I just had one question there. What is your best story about that tenure? You're obviously with Tom Brady. You guys won a couple Super Bowls with Bill Belichick. What's the story that maybe people haven't heard a lot about that you think about during that area of Patriots football?
Um, Obviously, you know, winning Super Bowls and just the culture of them guys was great. But my thing that I really hold dearly to me is probably being educated in football by Brian Flores, you know, and obviously Bill Belichick, but just having Brian Flores as my linebacker coach, defensive coordinator, and him wiring us a certain way and his leadership and whatnot. Man, I remember, man, I was just all football all the time. And B Flow used to tell me, man, hey, leave out this building and take your wife out to eat and get away from football. Hey, go spend some time with your kids and enjoy them. Let us as coaches, we're gonna get it right. Put that on me and stuff like that. And he mentored men. You know, he built us for when games got thick. You knew what we had to do. He never worried. He never worried about, okay, is my team ready for this? Do I have the type of guys that's ready for the moment? And he built us and wired us in that way that we always was confident enough that we can get the job done, not from cause we just have all these special players, because all the players are just gonna do their job to be able to give us an opportunity to stop whomever we're playing. You know, and man, I remember Flo used to come and, you know, he'll travel around in the off season to see players, and like he used to come see me in Houston and stuff like that. And he was one of my big reasons for even going to Miami, you know, and whatnot, just because I just wanted to stay up under Brian Flores. You know, man, I enjoyed Bill Belichick, man. I had nothing but utmost respect for him, man, and I enjoyed my New England tender. But man, when you have a guy like Brian Flores, not as your position coach, as your D coordinator, a leader amongst men, you know, it was just hard for me to kind of stay, because like, even to this day, I when I'm looking at the game, I'm thinking about, oh, I wonder how would Flo, what would he think about this? Like, how would he tell me to do this? And when I'm getting too compiled with football, I'll be like, all right, I know Flo would tell me to just go chill, get my family, regroup and stuff like that. And man, he was a better person than he was a football coach. And obviously, seeing the Minnesota Vikings with their success over there, they flying around having fun. It don't surprise me, because, man, you know, even though they having their fun, like, I know for a fact, like, guys is over there like, I got you, Flo. I'm gonna do it for you. And Flo always gonna tell you, like, man, you ain't doing this for me. We doing this for each other. Like, we gonna
Yep.
eat together. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I say that was big for me in my career, because I was a 6th round pick. You know, a 6th round pick, brought in the room with Dante Hightower, Jamie Collins, great all Pro Bowl vets. Like, you know, and just
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
a guy like Brian Flores that can sing championships, know what it looked like, you know, take me under his wing and just always be there for me, not just as the football player, but as the person. Man, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, no
Great
doubt.
perspective. Yeah, go
Real
ahead,
quick,
bro.
I wanted to respond to that before we close. Not only is he able to take the championships that he's seen and the success that he's had in his career and be able to articulate and communicate it to you, he's not just telling you, he's teaching you. And
Exactly.
I think that's a big thing that people miss when we talk about how coaches and players, both the coaches teaching and the players performing, how that goes hand in hand when they try to have success on the field.
Absolutely.
I think it's really important that people understand that a coach being able to articulate what it means to go out there and perform and play, and speaking that confidence of the scheme, the confidence of football 101s into you, and you being able to understand him and can feel his passion and his motivation to help you will, give you that extra push to have success. And it also keeps those memories of you learning from him in good spirits, so that when you do think of something that, down the line, like for me, it was GA. And it still is GA.
Gerald Alexander.
Gerald
Yeah.
Alexander. He's with the Raiders right now. But anytime I think about Ball, there's just certain things that he said that stay with me and that are just football 101, and you can always rely on it. You know what I'm saying? Things like, flat route, vertical presence inside, you're going to get high load. Those are things that he always said, and they always stuck with me, and I can always rely on those things. So I resonate with that, with what you say, because
and that's why
when you find a coach
Exactly.
that understands ball, they can speak that life through you, so that you can go out there and play free and confident.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I said what I say about the 1-17, because Flo could have been like, well, but being able to be with him when it was good and be with
Yeah.
him when it was bad, and see how he operated and how we battled back and stuff,
Yep.
and he telling me face to face, I got this team. We gonna
Mm-hmm.
be okay, Rob. Trust me, week to week as a leader. This what I need you to do, and I'm gonna do my part. And then we just start rolling, checking boxes, and
Yep. Absolutely.
I can't say
Absolutely.
like Flo. I can go all day on, man. I mean, terrific
Yeah.
person, great mentor, great family man. It's not a lot of negativity, I can say on him. And obviously, you see the type of performances that the Vikings been getting over there. And then you see players like Andrew Van Ginkel that was with us in Miami balling. And,
Gang,
and,
Yeah.
and,
gang.
and,
Balling,
and in
man.
my earlier career, I mean, not even my early, like, people don't know this. Kamu Grugier Hill was drafted with me to New England under Flo. Then our first year in Miami, he was in Miami. Now with Flo again at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So seeing that type, and players don't do that if they don't, like they coach or trust what the coach
Right.
have, or the coach just not a good person, man. Man, I'm telling you, flow value across this league is crazy, man. I'm not even just the
Yeah.
only player that would say that, and I know he done took his hits with certain things and certain players, but that's their opinions, and they deserve to have their opinion and stuff like that. But I just don't have them same opinions.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think that's great perspective from both of you guys, and the way he's performing in Minnesota, I think no doubt he'll have to be a head coach candidate again
Absolutely.
this upcoming candidate season. So great perspective, but I think a great way to end this pod is perspective ahead of Thanksgiving, right? And one thing me and my family do for transitions is really think, what are we thankful for most in this year? Not just the generic family, friends, football. What are you truly thankful for? So I'm going to ask each of you guys, but I'll start with myself. Um, I'm thankful for growth in a lot of different aspects of my life. I set a word of the year every year. My word for 2024 was plant. I want to plant things that grow in my individual life, my personal life, my professional life, right? And I feel like I am so proud of the growth that I've been able to make in either of those aspects. I'm a better man, a better husband, better father, better reporter, better friend than I was last year. And I think a lot of that through God has come through me being intentional about how I interact in all of those spaces. And so I'm thankful for growth.
I would say something similar. I'm thankful for adversity through my career, through my family, through my relationship. I think it's taught me to set boundaries that are needed for a stable lifestyle, especially with friendships and how you deal with other people. It's important to set boundaries, and I think that through this year, it's shown me where I need to set boundaries, but also where that adversity has helped me communicate better with said person across from me. And any type of difficulty that we've had, I've been able to break down where the issue is, and it's been us versus the issue, not me versus you, because I want to come to, a agreement so that we can both be, happy at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think adversity was something that I needed this year.
Absolutely. I'm thankful for opportunity. I think this year has been a abundant opportunity year where just, things have lined up that I'm extremely grateful for. When you take that leap of faith to like do your own thing, it's a little scary and you don't see the opportunities in the horizon. But then when the opportunities start to stack up, you're like, okay, it's the sign that what I'm doing is the right path, because these opportunities will build momentum to the place that I want to be, right? Or that I aim to be, where my goals are. So opportunity, and I hope the opportunity provides more momentum into the following year.
What about you, Elandon?
Man, honestly, I'm just thankful for God allowing me to learn, allowing me to understand what I don't understand, allowing me to look at things differently through different, eyeglasses and stuff like that. Because, if you think about it, man, how can we be better men? How can we be better husbands? How can we be better fathers if we're not able to learn from whatever? Maybe it was a mistake, or maybe we thought it was what we should have said or how we should have did it, but you look back on it like, maybe I should have changed this approach, changed that approach, and stuff like that. And being thankful for that, man, I just hope people take that same approach, because, when we get in front of God, we get on our knees, we ask for forgiveness, we ask for understanding. Us as people, I think we need to do the same thing, just across the world. You know, when you get on your knees, you ask for all these things, but then we look at others and we can't forgive them. We can't allow ourselves to look past certain feelings that we have, or certain things we was put through, no matter what our situation was. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I can now start just looking past a lot of them things. And also, you can kind of see in this world, it's changing just a little bit, not much, but I hope it start changing a little faster, to where people start, understanding people and being thankful to be able to say, hey, I forgive you. Hey, I see it this way, but I get your perspective. Hey, man, I understand this, but, now I see, and then they can move on in a positive light. Because, holding a lot of things in, or, just trying to be stubborn and not be understanding, can sometimes just hold us back as people, and hinder our growth, and stuff like that. So I'm thankful for God to just keep, thankful for God allowing me to keep just being able to learn and understand, and being thankful for just the opportunity that he's given me to be able to do those things.
I love it. I love it.
Amen.
God's hand in learning, opportunity, adversity, and growth. We're all very thankful this Thanksgiving. And with that, let's go ahead and end the closing word for this week.
Yes, sir.
Breakin House Rules.
So our Tranquilo Thoughts for this week are: be authentic, live life on your terms, doing things that make you feel whole. To be authentic is to live your truth, to be in alignment with who you are and what makes you happy. Do not conform to what others think of you or what you believe society wants of you. It's the reverse. Do what you enjoy and you attract what is meant for you.
I love that. I love that. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our Breakin House Rules family. Do not eat that green bean casserole. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Don't do it.
And take that second plate. You deserve it. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.